Hello everybody, and happy not yet Friday. Wop wop. Here on G4G Games for Gamers, and welcome to this week's episode of the week in Marvel Avengers Alliance. And as you can tell by the title, this is the Spider-Gwen edition. And today's background soundtrack is brought to you by Hardwired, starting off on one of my favorite songs of this particular album, called Mainframe, which really I think it should teach Daft Punk a thing or two. It's so good. So here we have Spider-Gwen, not to be confused with Spider-Girl, not to be confused with the other Spider-Girl, Mayday Parker, not to be confused with Silk, Spider 2095, Spider Knight Rider. It's spiders everywhere. Holy shit. Wow. So yeah, we have spiders everywhere. We've gotten a ton of spider content lately, and I'm not disparaging it, but it sort of in some way doesn't feel like it's become the Spider-Man Alliance here? Spider-Gers Alliance? So let's go ahead and purchase her. Well, first, so yeah, these guys, defending team has done a really good job today. They have made it so that I haven't PvP'd today. I was not PvPing yesterday until the tasks came out, and then all of a sudden I went -79 in like under 2 hours. Like I came home, it was busy from 6 to 7, and I looked at around 7 o'clock, I was like, holy shit! Like -79 out of nowhere, and I actually suffered some, trying to build back up losses here. This Vicious Arg was a Pesty Enchantress team that I had some bad turn order, and I dropped a whopping -19 to this dude when I first lost to him, and then I fought him right again and actually wound up beating him for a paltry 14. And I thought I suffered one other loss in there, which was an absolutely catastrophic Quick Lord group. Was it this one? It may have been this one. I just got my ass handed to me by a Quick Lord team. Yeah, I think it was this one. I just didn't even get a turn. Like, Hafe was dead before I could get the immunity out, and then Molly was dead before she could start her tantrum. But I'll tell you, man, in the last 2 weeks, Molly has been pretty clutch for me. I feel like she's not critting as much as she has in the previous 2 seasons. I feel like I have less screenshots of the Molly Punch-Out Queen. However, she's been really clutch with her candy this season. She has phased the team in the face of so many Quick Lord teams. They're just whiffing away, and she gets to go into her tantrum. And so yeah, there's my defense. Hugins Eye, the weather control device, the Scroll of Ruta, and the Mystic, and somehow it's getting it done, and I commend myself for having a somewhat unique defense, and that they're actually working. It's not Enchantress and Pesty, it's not a Quick Lord team, because I really don't want the time and effort to screw around with my armory and make a Quick Lord armory and then rearrange all the friggin' characters and like, alright, you're Blaster, you're Blaster, you're Blaster, yeah, alright, you stay Bruiser, you're like, I just like this team, and honestly they're keeping me in it. They're keeping me competitive. I do know a few people, somebody on the wiki, and JC, friend of the channel, he's mentioned doing the Red Hulk and Enchantress defense, and I think that's really good if you run the Scroll of Ruta. If you run the Scroll of Ruta, I commend you. Like, good job finding a way of making Enchantress happen without doing it with Pesty. And I mean, if you're stacking those debuffs and everything like that, you've got the Red Hulk Gamma Bomb, you have the Enchantress, you maybe have Red Hulk defending for you with Bulwark. Your team is protected because you're only manipulating the other side. Hey, like, I honestly, give yourselves a round of applause, because I feel you're using your brain and you're not doing the same old fucking rotation that everybody else is doing. And yeah, Null and Kurth, they're kind of falling by the wayside a little bit here, but you know, I still see a lot of Hafe. I see Null and Kurth, I see Spider Rockets, I see Union Rockets and everything like that. Honestly, when some of these people start getting 15 and they start proccing their passives for free, that's going to be something really, really interesting. So, you know, Molly getting double enraged on turn 1. I honestly, if it's got a cooldown, let's say it has a 2-round cooldown, like the suits used to be, I wouldn't double enrage Molly in round 1, because all she's doing is taunting. You're double enraging in the hopes that maybe she counters. No, I would actually save it from round 2 and ensure that I had a tantrum, you know, an enrage up for the tantrum. So let's go ahead and buy Spider-Gwen over here and take a look at her and see if we can run her in some combat. So Spider-Gwen recruited. Interesting animations. She doesn't look like a bruiser to me. She doesn't feel like a bruiser. She feels like an infiltrator, honestly. But let's take a deeper look at her passives and everything. Hi, Agent. It's great to be a part of your brand. This is a crazy gig, huh? Oh yeah, by the way, I did notice she's like very music oriented in a lot of what her stuff talks about, and she's carrying through with it over here. I've been told we're going to save the universe. I just hope we survive this show so we can play an encore. Being a fellow musician, okay, that's cool, and oh god, Spider-Girl. So today's episode is brought to you by Subway. Just kidding, man. Isn't that sad? Like, so, you know, Jared was under investigation over there, and they went to his house, and they were like, okay, we're here to check for kitty porn on your hard drives. At the time, everybody thought it was because his association with that guy who read the Jared endowment or whatever, and he was busted for it, and they wanted to... I thought, I hoped they were looking at Jared's stuff to build up a case against the other guy. Now Jared's busted? Man. Gives new definition to the term $5 footlong, huh? That might be a little presumptuous, but alright. So let's go ahead and take a look at Spider-Gwen. So there's my Loki. He's training from 13 to 14 to increase the attack bonus. He's got about 14.5 hours left. Here is my level 6 Hyperion. My level 13 Spider-Man Noir, so he's caught up. Ant-Man's ready to... Well, he was ready to go, I guess. Yeah, well... no, that's right. It was Ultimate Spider-Man who was ready. I'm not really in a hurry to train my infiltrators quite yet. Especially now with 2 people who are going to need the quick training bay. So there's Quake, 14... Quake is one of my favorite characters that they've released in a long time. Her level 1 with the multi-hits and the clap and everything, in my head, whenever I see that move, I'm just like, bang! Sounds stupid, but I do. So, alright. Here is Spider-Gwen. She is a bruiser. She has shitty health, decent stamina, poor attack, decent defense, and very high accuracy and very high evasion. So that means if you are running the PKB method of stacking attack accuracy in one of the defensive categories, you're going to go attack, accuracy, and evasion. But I do believe even in PvP terms, she is going to need a little bit of health in there. But that is one of the things that does get worked on. Typically, stamina and one of the defensive categories is not built. And there is one exception to what some people call the PKB rule, and that is, who are we talking about? Who doesn't need one of the categories? And you might be thinking ground. No, it's not ground. Karnak. The guaranteed hit and guaranteed crit means there is no reason to give him any accuracy ever whatsoever. So, she has Encore, chance to follow up with Webline Stage Dive after single target attacks against webbed targets. Spider Sense Defense. Chance to evade single target attacks. When she evades this way, they are countered by the Backstreet Boys. Oh, Backbeat Rim Shots. I was just kidding. I knew that. Backbeat Boys over here, Backbeat Rim Shots, is webbed and a level 1 exhausted. That's really, really nice. Why that is so nice is that mean anybody who's flanked, anybody who is fumbling, anybody where she has counters equipped, like from the Neurotrope, she's going to exhaust people. A level 1 exhaustion is really big. It's just about as big as like a level 1 flanked or a level 1 fumbling. By the way, it is ranged. Webline Stage Dive. Number of hits 2. It is unarmed melee, and this one causes Pain Train. Bring the house down. All enemies as a quick action. 3-round cooldown. It is melee. Catastrophic. All enemies are webbed, and she gains breakthrough. And then her level 9 is Hard Rock, and we kind of expected this. It exploits webbing, but it also exploits protection. That's something that we really haven't seen in a while. So, who's she going to go well with? Well, obviously, Gum Up the Works is going to be pretty nice. There's a webbed, and there's a flanked. We have a webbed over here for Doc Ock. We have, of course, a webbed over here with ultimate webbing, and he is one of the few who really adds nothing else. And, you know, we have Anti-Venom. Let's take a look at Anti-Venom over here. We should have it on I Am the Cure, so we do. So let's go ahead and use her in combat and see what we can get going over here. Unfortunately, I think this is set to my daily. Yes. That is set to my daily. So what's kind of interesting is if you look at my quest over here, for a brief period of time I had Scourge on Scourge. Those two were stacked right up next to each other, and there's my current status. This was all done yesterday because of the amount of PvP that I had to do to recover. So let us go ahead and go back. Oh yeah, my mission status. So as you can see, everything is done except for challenge mode on mission 5, and then the last mission needs everything done. So I'm getting there towards Nerkon, and like I've said in the last video, it's at my own pace. So these guys are who I was running in my my gadget mission. So we'll go ahead and get Spider-Gwen, and he's busy, so okay, fine, we'll get Superior. And let's look at my agent. So as you can see, I'm running for the dailies, the weather control device, the mandible, the neurotrope, and the blind justice. We will go ahead and take out the neurotrope. And I will go ahead and grab that new web blaster that came out not too long ago, that quick action one. This is a pretty cool band if you like electronic. I'm not like the biggest fan of it, but I sort of like my 80s vibe to a lot of this. It sort of reminds me a lot of the games at the time, a lot of the cracker, all the hacker and cracking groups. Their intros to the games that they would crack had a lot of music like this. So it looks like Sup Spidey takes a decent pre-counter over there. And there goes my agent, countering with a brawl. Alright, so we will go ahead and webcast this one. As you can see, my agent gained an extra turn from Big and Fast. So there's the quick action netcaster. And you know what? Why not web both? But I think this one's going to take him out. And it does, so I don't want to go ahead and bash this guy with a nightstick because we do want to see Spider-Gwen over here. So I'm just going to do this heal instead. Pretty solid heal. So here it is, webbed and exhausted. Spider-Gwen's first attack on G for G, and we get backbeat rim shots. That was pretty interesting. It looked like she procced something there. You know, not too sure exactly what that was, but it seemed like she started to do something. So now he's double webbed. And we can see he's on tangle web, so let's go ahead and get it up to the binding web, which just about takes him out. And let's do backbeat rim shots again. So there she goes. She has that like sort of spider sense looking thing before the attack goes off. And now we have infiltrators. Ooh. Boo. So we're going to play a little bit defensive over here. And we'll use some jelly beans. Let's go ahead and get the blind justice out, so this way we can have our spiders joining in on attacks. And the second one winds up hitting my agent, so we still don't have combat reflexes. And the mandible gets a nice counter over there. So let's hit this top one. So she did the moving in, but she didn't seem to have that whole, like, precursor spider sense going on that one. Wow, my agent's up to 9 debuffs from something. And there's the cower because of the suit, and we have the binding web. By the way, one thing I love about Subway is the fact that they sell that Fuse iced tea. I really do like Fuse iced tea. Their sweet tea I think is really, really good. Oh, hey, so we get the webline stage dive going on. That's pretty cool. And we'll just take him out with this Magneto-looking move. Throw the engine at her. And she counters one more time, and it's probably going to bleed out. So there you go. There is Spider-Gwen. Let's take one last look at her and potentially discuss some of the ISOs we could slap on her. And she gains arachnophobia, big mouth, not of this earth, swingers, tossers, and web warriors. Wow. Really, really big bonus over there. So I just wanted to say that if you didn't catch my last video that I uploaded, it was a Dirty Tricks Volume 6. It's a ballroom blitz. So it makes use of the challenge mode version of this, called the Cosmic Shielding. And on this mission here, I am looking to see if I can go ahead and get the challenge mode Blighted Battle Axe, which I would think I would honestly want this weapon to hit a little bit harder than it appears to do, but I think it'll be good in some attrition groups. And there is the final mission. So let's take one last look at Spider-Gwen over here. Ooh, if I recall correctly in reading about her, I don't think she's actually... I don't think she has any real powers. I think she just fashioned herself this way and was like following Spider-Girl around and try to... I don't know, I might be wrong. Gwendolyn Stacy, right. Oh yeah, that's this one. Used her powers for financial gain by becoming a professional drummer while maintaining a secret identity as Spider-Woman and drumming in the side of her friend's band, the Mary Janes. So here we have Gwen coming to defend Peter Parker. Oh, and then Peter became the Lizard in that universe. Really interesting. So essentially, Spider-Gwen is Gem. She's truly outrageous. So, for backbeat rim shots, we can go with anything ranged in this category. So you can do things like bursting to do shields, but then again, who really sees Invisible Woman molly groups anymore? Aiming would probably be a little bit better. However, she doesn't really have a whole lot of other range, so this would only really assist other people. Here we have the webline stage dive. We could do pressurized, pugilist, bloody, pulverizing, and knocking. So this means all of the unarmed and melees are available to her. Since she did follow up, pressurized, unless you're running her with other power gun exploiting people, might not be good. But bloody for bleeds and wide open would be good, and also incapacitation. So any one of those three I think would be good. Here we have just straight up melee, which is bring the house down. It is a quick action and it affects everybody. So to me, knocking really seems to be the winner there. An AoE chance at incapacitation. And over here we have hard rock, which is ranged, which, okay, so it does make sense to line her up a little bit now with the aiming. Since this is the finisher, you probably don't want to run aiming because you want to hope that this is the kill for somebody. So I might not go with aiming, but rather something like increased chance to hit, crit, or increased damage. And as you can see, that is also going to be considerably cheaper on your wallet to go that range. Honestly, since it is deadly crits, I would go with increased chance to crit. So there is a look at Spider-Gwen. And for the hell of it, I will go ahead and open the next set of my Hyperion lockboxes. Even though I have him, let's just open them up for goodies. Nice, we get some pretty decent armory slottables in here. We get the offensive, 2 defenses, and a neutral. So that's pretty cool. And let me get one of my nearly 70 Doc Ock ones, or Sup Spidey. Nothing too fancy in there. Alright, so hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode of the week in Marvel Avengers Alliance. Good luck, everybody, on getting your Nerk cards. Good luck as we get into the last few days of PvP over here. We have a little less than a week to go. As you can see, 4 days, which should put us close to Monday, or, you know, honestly, sometimes I think it's going to be Wednesday of next week, but this is basically hinting that it's going to end on Monday night, which could be a hellish weekend once again. And let's see how stable the servers are going to be this weekend and whatnot. So take care, everybody, and good luck in all your travels. Coming up on the channel will be a look at Karzim the Monk and Heroes of the Storm, and I keep saying it, but hopefully I'll get around a video on Skyforge. Take care, everybody.